with us.
Yeah, we're going to have your code and your ticker on this network, and you can't stop it from being traded.
Right.
And so there's a derivative, and then if there's liquidity bonding the prices together, so if, let's say you have Chainlink on Ethereum, and then after launch, price bounces around a while, but I bet that over time that these prices will move similarly.
Right.
I think that the Link ticker on Pulsechain is likely to move similarly to the Link ticker on Ethereum.
Right. Just because of the bridge, right? And
well, because they're bonded by the liquidity.
Right.
And then it's the same code with the same ticker. Now, do you want to pay $100 or $300 to trade it on Ethereum, or do you want to pay a penny to trade it over here? And we already know this answer because they're doing it on other networks as well.
Yeah.
People do trading on alternate networks, and then we're the one that you don't like. Your coins are already here. You don't even have to bridge over.
Right.
You've already got your free coins here. You can already access them by changing one setting in your MetaMask. It's awesome.
Dude, it sounds
it
sounds pretty awesome.
Well, that's the trick. That's the magic. Is you launch this whole network with all these new coins. How do you get those new coins to be valuable?
Right.
But by not letting anyone ever stop the trading, by having the same tickers, and by giving people a reason to back the value of the things they got free.
Right.
By rewarding them with a yield farming token. It's like a giant vampire attack, basically. It's a giant vampire attack.
Everybody, woohoo! As we say, woohoo! Hey, stocks, crypto, and Pulsechain pumping. You can't do much better than that. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, we know it's going to be volatile. I'm still expecting the volatile, in August and September. But, man, a nice little strong pump back this week after Monday's rout in the markets. Of course, which started with the Japanese Nikkei. And, of course, we've been covering stocks on this channel. And you know why, right? You know why. Well, we've got also big news around Mafia. It has hit its 5 billion pulse target. We're going to talk about that later on. It is incredible. And of course, the Syndicate family under the leadership of Don Capone, the number one Don in the game. I mean, the Don of Dons is amazing. And of course, the Syndicate has hit over 500,000 on the worth. So our first family to do that. Fantastic, and sitting at number one, of course. Pretty awesome, and also leading the Protectorate, which is an allegiance or an alliance of Mafia families in both Pulsechain and BNB. So a big shout out to Don Capone, absolutely crushing out there against the odds, which is pretty awesome. So kind of cool. We got Lights Beneath in the house. How are you today? Very, very good. And we've got Hex Pulsex, an incentive for the win, 100%. That is the golden strategy of this channel, and we're going to be there until the Magic Cart ride plays out. Just the way it goes. We've got Sandy Beach in the house as well. Hello, Hex Token, everybody. Hope you're doing well, Sandy. Always great to see you, and keep up the great work with your house and fitness posts. There's the latest one there. Big shout out to Sandy there. Give her a follow and like and share and all that good stuff. We've got Brennan in the house there. Pump it. Brennan's our TA guru, one of our moderators as well. Big shout out to Brennan. Pump it, and I agree with you on that one. We've got Brian, our community leader in the house there. Sucks, folks. Good to see Brian as always. Just an incredible person, does great things for the community. We big shout out to Brian. Onboarded a lot of people into crypto and Hex and things like that. So big shout out for sure. Pump it up, says Eddie Hadvina, a Hex Token channel member. Represent Pulsechain. Woo! I like it. Good attitude in today. Get into the chat, folks. If you're watching, you're coming in during the live stream. Get in there, folks. Get your chats and get your comments in. Yeah, let's get it lively. I mean, you can't ask for better. We've got a wonderful crypto bounce back, and things are looking pretty bright. It will be volatile, like I say, in August, September. I still think that's playing out. So far, it has. So nothing new there. We're going to talk about a few different topics today. Obviously, we're going to cover the stock market. We can kick off with that, with the Federal Reserve. We're going to kick off that with the economic news and why the market moved today. We're going to get into actually cover politics. We're going to be covering the latest polls and give you some insights into those because obviously we want a pro-crypto president. We also want a president that's pro-freedom. And so we're going to talk about that too. We're going to get into, obviously, the crypto markets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. We're going to talk about meme coins and runes. So we're going to get into that and Dog Token. We're going to also get into Pulsechain, obviously a full update on Pulsechain. And, of course, then cover Mafia and Hex. So that's what's in store for today. Let's get into it. It's going to be exciting. Now, one thing is if you like this content, we're virtually here every single day. When I say we, I mean you and me. We're sharing the same journey, of course, on Pulsechain and crypto. during this bull market. So it's been a real honor and a pleasure. And if you want to, get people, share the channel around. I mean, honestly, we've got 3 different channels: Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. Over 10,500 subscribers. If you want to help us grow and reach more people, then share the channel around. Really do encourage you. If you've got an X account, whatever, just reshare. You guys know the format. You've been here for years now, so get out there and spread the word. It really helps the channel. And let's start to lift the viewers that we're getting. And so let's go for gold. All right, let's get into it. Let's start off with the stock market. Before we do, we've got a couple of other people jumped in here quickly. We've got Craig Pitt, morning all. Good to see you, Craig. Always a pleasure as always. We've got Wookie in the house there. Wookie got a wool pup for a pet. Nice one there, Wookie. Wookie is going to be an island boy soon. An island boy. Wookie, the island boy. So looking forward to that. We're going to get some images from the middle Pacific from Wookie. That's going to be fun. All right, let's jump into it, folks. This is the results at the moment. We might go to that format. Let's go to that. Actually, should we do the side format? I mean, let's do the side format today. Do something different. We got S&P 500 jumps as softer jobs data cools recession fears. So bullish news there. We got the Dow Jones is up 1.75%. Isn't that awesome? 683 points. Pretty awesome. Now we saw on Monday, right? It had a rout of 1,000 and down 1,000 points. Was the first time ever. But it's up 683 today. So really good results here. 39,446 on the index. Remember, the Dow Jones is the top 30 industrial firms, at least in the index. But the S&P 500 is up 2.3%, 120 points, up 5,319. The NASDAQ, with all the tech companies in it, up 2.86%. And of course, these are big numbers for the stock market. 463 points. Now at 16,659. Some fantastic results there. US dollar is up slightly at 103.077. Let's go to the commodities. Have a quick look at those. West Texas at the moment, $76. Brent oil at $79. They're pretty much flat, but mixed results. Gold is pretty much flat, up 60 cents at 2,463. Silver pretty much flat as well, down 1 cent to $27.60. So that's kind of where we are on those. But let's get into the news. We got the solid jobless claims, LA recession fears. So that's good news. Data released on early Thursday showed that the number of Americans filing new applications for the unemployment benefits came in at 233 for the week ended August the 3rd. And I said yesterday, if this comes in below expectations, it's going to be good news, and it has been. This was below the expectations of 241,000 expected, and a reduction from the revised 250,000 the prior week, which was an 11-month high. The report eased jitters about weakness in the labor market following last week's soft non-farm payroll. So that's what started the carnage from Monday, right? And as well as Asia, of course, in the Nikkei there. Soft non-farm payrolls report. The unexpected drop in jobless claims offers a welcome positive indication of labor market conditions, softening concerns of more precipitous weakness in the aftermath of what somewhat disappointing job report is from Stifel there. The main Wall Street indices have suffered steep losses over the past few weeks, with the NASDAQ having entered correction territory, which is important. I mean, we're already making record highs, so it's probably needed to happen on increasing, especially for crypto, right? We want crypto to have its bull market. We don't want to be, capped at the knees before it happens. On increasing fears of recession following a slew of weak readings in the labor market and business activity. Now, how does this flow on into the interest rates, which we're expecting big cuts? The Fed Barkin cools big rate cuts. Richmond Fed President Thomas Barkin on Thursday downplayed calls for urgent rate cut action. I think they're going to make a mistake on this myself personally, but let's hear it out. And said the Fed has time to wait to assist the pace in slowing the economy. I think this is a mistake, this position, but we shall see where they head. The Fed has some time to assess whether this is an economy that's gently moving into a normalized state or one where you really do have to lean into it. And of course, he said that at a virtual event. Bets on a 50 basis point cuts in September fell to 56% from 72% a day earlier. So let's check out where that is at the moment. So it was at 56% after the news. We got 5 weeks and 6 days to go. So yeah, that's quite a long period for them to get more assessment data. I think they're going to be typical Federal Reserve overshoot, right? They keep the rates up too long to trade employment away for inflation, right? So here at the moment, we've got 57%, so it's pretty similar to what they wrote in that article in terms of the basis points there. and we got 43% at 5.25. So we've still got the majority expecting a 50 basis point cut. I think it would be pretty important in September to do a 50 basis point cut. So let's see where they head. And of course, on November there, they've also got potentially another 50 basis points. Not quite the majority yet, only 25 basis points down to 4.75. Remember, we're currently at 5.5 on a federal funds rate. So that's kind of where we are at the moment in November. Let's quickly look at December quickly. We got people going down to 3.75 there. So that's pretty much down to 4%. So that'd be a 1.5 percentage points. So 350 basis points cuts in a month in a row. I don't know if we're quite there at that camp yet, but definitely we're between 1 percentage point and or 100 basis points and 125 basis points. So it's kind of where I think we're going to be by the end, which would be great for the interest rates coming down. That's going to be very important and spur the economy on. So that's kind of where we are on that. Now, I did want to talk about the US election. Before we do that, though, let's quickly see who else has jumped in the chat here. We got Wookie says Dragon just hit 11. Yeah, doing pretty well as the old Dragon XM. We got Big Kahuna in the house. Hey, Big K, good to see you. And another Hex Token channel member representing. Pretty awesome to see you in the chat there, by the way. Let's jump into it. So this is, so I don't normally talk about the election, but the election's coming up. This is the biggest election in our lifetime regarding freedom, and I cannot understate that. We got socialists and fascists trying to take over power. We see in the UK, we got the Prime Minister Starmer over there putting in a police state and setting up their little socialist fascism. Where have we seen that before, right? Where have we seen that before? And so it's pretty scary what's happening over there. And of course, we knew they were going to do it regardless of what came down the pipeline. But it's pretty scary to see it put in place. The whole West has been pulled down by socialist progressives. And we see that in wherever Labour parties are. We survived our last Labour Party here. They caused so much damage to our economy. Oh my gosh. Freedom in particular, radical ideology targeting our children. They are really horrible. So we really need some freedom. The only person in the world to lead the West is so important that you win the presidency of the United States. And so really looking forward to a Trump win. Now, these are the latest poll results here. We're on realclearpolling.com. If you haven't checked it out, well, we're doing it realclearpolling.com if you want to check out the polls. And this has got all the polls. Now, you got to remember, a lot of these are left-wing corporate polls. So you got to look at them very hard because they can be manipulated within the polling to get certain results. But we've got new polls out at the moment. We've got the Rasmussen poll report, which is probably the best one out of this whole list. And then we've got the CNBC just came out with a poll recently too. Now, this poll here ends the 7th of August. So it's the latest poll. All these other polls are quite late, as you can see. July, etc. All these CBS, all that sort of stuff, all quite late. The latest one here is Rasmussen poll. And we've got CNBC come out with a new poll here for the 4th of August as well. Now, it's very important that these are recent polls. So a lot of this data is very old. Now, this data, because it's old, it's leading into the RCP average. So the average poll of all these polls has Harris up by half a percent. That is really misleading because all these polls are so old. The last two polls coming in have Trump in the lead. And the best poll out of this is the Rasmussen report. And that has Trump up by 5 percentage points. That is the one that we're really looking for. So Trump looking good at the moment for the election. And I think things are going to get even bigger because of they're going to have an Elon Musk Trump online debate. That's going to be a massive. Elon obviously has the biggest, pretty much the biggest online influence in the news space in the planet. So this is going to be a huge interview. We've seen Trump doing interviews with some of the biggest online TikTokers and things like that. I mean, really targeting the young people. And what we're seeing in the polls is that we are seeing a shift of Latinos, a shift of Black Americans, a shift of young people between, the voting age is up to, I think, 39, moving towards Trump. So this is good news. Obviously not in the bag yet, but very positive happening there. And the Rasmussen report there showing Trump at 49 versus 44 for Harris. So, lots of cool stuff. We already know the mainstream media is going to put out a lot of propaganda using very old polls and things like that, and that's what they've been doing. But things are actually looking much better for Trump there. And, of course, this is probably influencing the betting market as well So the betting market on the election, they follow the polls, these old Harris polls, and that's switched it on that. But actually, it's really showing that Trump's in the lead there, and I think that's going to grow. Really, ultimately, you've got to win the moderates, the independents in the election, and if you win that, then you're going to win the election. And it does look like Trump is gaining that amongst all those three different categories I just mentioned earlier. So very, very cool. Particularly the working class. And ironically, the Harris is being supported by a lot of the upper class, which is kind of ironic, right? Because they're the ones that are going to tax and all the rest of it. It's kind of a bit bizarre. But they're the ones that have been indoctrinated with a lot of propaganda with progressive mainstream media for the last 3 decades. So that's pretty interesting where we're heading there. So that's the current results at the moment. Rasmussen, sorry, pretty good. Trump up 5. And I think that's looking pretty good. So we're going to keep tracking that. And of course, there's the 10th coming up on the 10th is going to be the first debate between Harris and Trump. And of course, today, if you had seen that Trump had done a press conference for about an hour at Mar-a-Lago, and when do you see the Democrats do that? They don't. They hide. And so, it's going to be game on there. So look pretty cool. The other thing, of course, is that, Harris is being new. They basically did a coup on Biden, right? Biden had the 40 million votes to be the nominee for the Democrats. The Democrats basically did a coup on him and got him out over. And, of course, that's against democracy, the process of democracy. So Harris actually has no votes as nominee. But they just bypassed it. Who is the one threatening democracy? It's not the Republicans, it's the Democrats. So that's where we're at the moment. And I think the truth hopefully will win at the end. And of course, we know the battleground states, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and places like that, North Carolina, need to hopefully the elections run smoothly, unlike the last election where they shut them down on election night. It was unbelievable. Trump was winning. And then, of course, it got flipped on him. And of course, all the irregularities after that, trucks dropping off at 2, 3 in the morning and dropping off ballots and all sorts of weird things, obviously playing into that. So hopefully we'll get a cleaner election this election, but you know how it's going to roll. We know what they're capable of. So there we go. That's kind of my summary of the election at the moment. Actually looking quite positive, and we want a pro-freedom, pro-crypto president. On that note, we know that Eric and Donald Trump Jr. Both going to be launching some big crypto project or some big crypto news coming out. It hasn't yet launched. That's coming up soon. So if you're not following Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr., you want to be part of that crypto boom or whatever they're going to be doing. We just don't know, but it's going to be big. We know that Eric Trump loves crypto. Then you should follow them on X platform to be able to participate, early on. You want to be early, of course, to get the most upside. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Hope you enjoyed that little coverage. And it's actually looking pretty good at the moment. So, Monday, of course, is going to be the Elon Musk Trump interviews. It's going to be mega huge there. All right, that is pretty much it for that. Now, obviously, crypto. Look at this. Woo! Hot dog and a dog. Crypto looking pretty good. Before we get into that, though, we've got Crypto Fury in the house there. Hi, everybody. Hey, Crypto Fury. Hope you're doing well. He's in the syndicate. Big shout out to you. What else have we got going here? We've got Yo from Crypto Furia. And Big Kahuna says Al Capone for president. Yeah, the head of the syndicate doing an incredible job. Crypto Furia says, keep in mind, Republicans have outperformed the polls in the last 3 elections. That's for sure. All right, so let's get into it. Look at this green. Do you like dark green? Dark green means that it's up over 5%. And look at that. Bitcoin up 11.5%. Woo! Hot dog and a dog. That's what we like to see. Double-digit Bitcoin up. Oh, my God, that's so good. Ethereum there up 14%, $2,672. BNB up 8.5% at 514. ADA is up at 8%. Now, I saw some people talking about ADA being dead, but not quite yet. I know BitBoy or Ben Armstrong talking about ADA dead, or at least underperforming the rest of the market, and it probably will be slightly underperforming. But at the moment, it's pretty on par with BNB, so not quite there yet, but we'll see where that goes. XRP is kind of underperforming today after its big bullish news with the court case yesterday. That was up 20% yesterday, still holding up at 61 cents, up 4.4% today. Tron, of course, Tron's like, I don't know, Tron's like kind of deadbeat. Always seems to be around 12 to 14 cents, if you notice. It's up 1.4% at the moment. That's kind of where that is. I think there was some drama about there was a Duquan there with Duquan. That's not quite right. What's the other guy's name? Anyway, doing mining there or something like that. So there was some drama there. pulling out dumping some coins or something. Litecoin there, $61.11 dollars at the moment. So $61 up at 9.4% on Litecoin. Matic up 9.8% at 43 cents. There's some of the leaders. What else is going there? Solana up 13%, $163. That's pretty much it, is it? I think so. And of course, we got Bitcoin Cash, which I don't often talk about enough. That's down here as well. $353. I don't know what that's up though. It doesn't show me the percentage. $353. Yeah, not working there. Too far down. So that's kind of where we are overall with the markets. Let's go into Bitcoin itself. Look at this. This is the hourly chart for Bitcoin. Woohoo! Hot dog and a dog. No, I don't know why. That's so exciting. We're down at 54,700 here, and we rallied all the way up here. Look at that. Beautiful. These are hourly candles, by the way, up to 62,780. Wow, what a move. What a move. Look at that. I mean, what's that? And one day, up 15% on Bitcoin. Pretty much. That's awesome. So looking pretty good. Let's go to the daily on Bitcoin here on Coinbase. And we can see that big fat green candle. And I talked about these candles, right? I talked about these. We could get some of these, and we did. Pretty amazing. And we came all the way down. Look, I mean, that was brutal. We came from $70,000 all the way down to $49,000. And that was brutal. Welcome to crypto, man. Welcome to crypto. And of course, that volatility is part of the lifeblood of the chain, right? So there we are, down 30% in 7 days. That's what we got. Isn't that crazy? But look at today. We are up pretty big now. Let's see where we're up from the bottom. We're up about we got up about 27%, 28% in that 3-day period, 4-day period, and we're currently up about 25.5% at the moment. But looking very strong. Look at that big fat green candle. Do you like that? I like that. And we've got bullish news coming up, right? We're back over the 200-day moving average. Woohoo! That's the big news there too. That is so hyper bullish. And that's currently at 59,454. So 59,454. We actually touched the 50-day moving average as well. Isn't that a tease? I'm sure we're going to breach that. But that 50-day moving average is currently at 62,758. So we're looking really good, folks. And if we zoom out a bit further, that is what our candle looks like. So it's almost a consolidation zone, a little bit rolled over here. But, a bit of profit taking is pretty important. And look at that volume candle there. Look at that on the sell that we had, but we're actually recovering pretty nice. And you guys know we've got still going to be volatile in my expectation for the August-September period. We know that September is typically a down month in crypto, but we got the Bitcoin halving. So we are expecting a big move, but I think it's going to be just maybe a little bit later than we normally get, 2-3 months, maybe 4 or 5 months. And as we move into October, which we know October is always bullish for crypto. And of course, we're going to have in September, it might start off a bit early. On the 18th of September, we've got that interest rate pivot. And we're expecting, probably 25 to 50 basis points. I'm expecting 50 still. So we'll see how we get on there. It will depend on a little bit more news as we head into that period. Then the US election on the 5th of November. And of course, if we get a bullish outcome for that, that is mega huge for crypto. Honestly, October is going to be, moving in for October should be really positive. If we get bullish news in November, we're going to have some of those big giant parabolics in the crypto market. It's going to be pretty awesome. And you're going to make magic money, as we say, magic money. And then, of course, the 7th of November, another cut there, we get another 50 basis points. You can see it's going to really be hardcore rally for crypto. Now, stock market may have a pullback after the interest rate news. We'll watch out that. Typically, it does when the interest rate pivots. So how will that affect crypto? We could have a bit of separation as possible. So we'll see how we go there. And that is where we are on Bitcoin. Now, I do have a video to play on this. But before we get into that, we've got Andrew Reynolds announced it. Happy Friday, everybody. Big shout out to you, Andrew. Yeah, down under. It is Friday already. Kind of cool. All right, let's hear. This is on the news. So we're going to go to this. And this is Saylor talking about the Bitcoin fundamentals at the moment. So let's get into that.
Well, the recent dip in the price of Bitcoin brought out the usual assortment of naysayers. Although I got to tell you, that pool is shrinking, even with the slight pullback. Listen, so many of them have so much egg on their face. Still, they always come out, and they always seem to aim their anger at my next guest. who isn't just a fan, but he's an evangelist. And, well, he's put billions where his conviction is. I want to bring in now MicroStrategy's Executive Chairman, Michael Saylor. You know, Michael, I'm going to start calling you Last Laugh Saylor because you always seem to get the last laugh. Even with the pullback, you know, you put out a chart that's really amazing. MicroStrategy is outperforming everything since you adopted it as a strategy. It's crushed everything. Look at the green arrow. It's crushed everything. So I know you feel vindicated, but there's more, right?
Look, Bitcoin is volatile, but volatility is a signal of high energy. You know, rivers, waterfalls, fires, and windstorms are volatile. They just contain energy that we can harness. And so this digital asset is creating tens of billions of dollars of credit and liquidity at all times for everybody everywhere in the world. And it's attracting massive amounts of capital, and that's what's driving that superior performance. MicroStrategy is just levering the most powerful idea in the world right now.
Yeah, but when you decided to go down this route, we've had many conversations. It was really nuts. And even now, critics, you know, I heard folks talking about it just in the last couple, you know, days. Oh, it was supposed to be sort of when the world's going to hell in a handbasket, it was supposed to be a safe haven, and it's not. What do you tell folks who still aren't convinced, in part because it's not a safe haven per se?
What I say is Bitcoin's a solution to everybody's problem. Investors are worried about regulation, taxes, torts, and antitrust. Economists are worried about the deficit and the debt. Individuals want to deal with inflation, and they're worried about opportunity. Companies can't compete with megacorps. Those who understand Bitcoin buy Bitcoin. Those who don't criticize Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, individuals can outrun the inflation, investors can beat the market, corporations can outgrow the competition, and countries can revitalize their economies and boost their currencies by tapping into digital capital.
I want to talk about what's next from Washington, D.C.'s vantage point, because one of the things I've always been afraid of is that D.C. at some point would push back, just like all these countries that are dependent on fiat currency. And so you've got President Trump, former President Trump, who's obviously a supporter. Also, Senator Lummis, she introduced a proposal for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Explain to us what it means and why it would be so important for our nation.
All great empires are built on productive property that you can defend. And the Lummis bill is our Louisiana moment. You know, there was a time when everybody moved to the New World, and buying the New World, like Louisiana or Alaska, was a good idea. What we have right now is a race to own cyberspace. The future is digital. Bitcoin is digital. If you're worried about the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency, what are people going to buy when they sell the dollar? They're going to buy Bitcoin. And so you should go buy the Bitcoin and wait, because hundreds of trillions of dollars of capital from all around the world are going to flow into cyberspace, to the Bitcoin network.
On the other side, you've got Senator Warren, who I just read is building an army to take down Bitcoin. If Kamala Harris wins, it looks like this time around D.C. will go to war. Have you had a chance to speak to anyone in her camp?
You know, I've spoken to people on both sides of the aisle, and I think that the more progressive politicians realize that there's a digital transformation in finance. BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, and Fidelity are illustrating it with their actions. Crypto and Bitcoin is going to drive outcomes in November, and you see people on both sides of the aisle that get it. And on Main Street, companies need this kind of digital capital if they're going to compete in a modern digital era.
Well, again, last laugh, Saylor, and it's just beginning. I appreciate you spending time with us. Every time you do, it informs the audience even more, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Charles.
All right, so that is Michael Saylor there talking about Bitcoin and the fundamentals there in the markets. Obviously, Elizabeth Warren there, another socialist fascist that wants to take away freedom. And man, we're up a big fight globally against these people. Unfortunately, they control too many countries at the moment, but hopefully the people will be able to get them out eventually, especially after the next couple of years. So fingers crossed on that. We got obviously the Ethereum at the moment is also up pretty big time. And we can see here on the hourly how it's been zigzagging up here all the way down from 2,300 up to 2,720, currently at 2,680 at the moment. And of course here looking pretty good. So let's go to the daily on Ethereum. And of course, we could see the carnage that we had. We came all the way down pretty much from around 3,400 all the way down to 2,122. It was pretty aggressive. I mean, on that move, it was pretty powerful. And what did we get down to? Around about 37, 38% pullback. Pretty insane. Welcome to crypto. That was pretty gut wrenching. We are up quite a bit though from there on Ethereum, and it looks like we're moving up from what are we up about 26% at the moment. Had been up to 28. It's currently 26% at the moment. Now, what's the difference with this chart compared to Bitcoin? Bitcoin's over the 200-day moving average, almost at the 50-day moving average, but Ethereum here is miles away. So we've got the 200-day moving average at 3,095. We got the 50 at 3,146, and we're miles below that at the moment. And you guys know that Richard Hart and the Magic Carpet ride there, ETH, the 170,000 ETH is well below its cost price, which I think was somewhere around 3,700, if I remember rightly. And so still well out of the money there by about $1,000 per ETH. So obviously we're expecting Ethereum to do some good things in the future. Just lagging a little bit on that point of view. Once again, should benefit from all the interest rate pivots in the election if we get the right outcome. And of course, the Ethereum ETF has been performing pretty well. We've been getting some good capital through there. And with the Bitcoin ETFs also picking up capital in the last day or two, that should be positive for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and of course all the altcoins. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. We might do another coverage of where the ETFs are at, maybe possibly tomorrow. So we'll look at that to wrap up the week. Now, that's pretty much it on the Ethereum stuff. That we're going to get into, runes, and we're going to look at meme coins now. So we'll get into that. Just let's see who else have we got in the jump here. We've got UFOs in the house there. Michael means people will buy Hex. I like that. I like that UFO. We can take that. Yeah, even Lies Beneath likes that. It's got little rockets out there. All right, so let's get into runes. Now, as you guys know, Bitcoin meme season, the first bull market is here. Imagine it. Everyone's dreamed it. We have obviously EVM chains have had meme coin seasons on bull markets. But first time we're going to have, Runes Protocol has provided a big meme opportunity on a meme coin opportunity on Bitcoin for the first time ever. And of course, you guys know we're backing Dog for the win. So Dog go to the moon. That's the one we're backing there for the win. It's up about 10% at the moment, but it's had a really good couple of days. And you can see here in the sats, we look at the last week, you can see that it started riding down, found a bottom down at about 3.7 sats, even slightly lower, 3.64 sats, and now it's up at 5.58 sats. So some tremendous gains there on Dog. So pretty exciting. And more crucially, it's breaking some records here. Now, the one thing I want to point out is the number of holders. The number of holders is 80,800. This is going up by hundreds every day. This is so good, folks. This is so good. You got to remember, this is done with a fair airdrop. There's no VCs or shenanigans going on. This is really positive and going up by hundreds a day. Fantastic. This thing is going to fly. This thing's going to fly. And of course, we're waiting for a lot of the tier 1 exchanges to launch. They're talking about runes in their communications, like Binance and people like that. And it's got to be getting close. Now, you got to remember, a Dog does not pay for centralized exchanges to listing. And of course, it's currently traded on decentralized exchanges. It's traded on Magic Eden, traded on Unisat, right? Those are the two main dexes that it's traded on. And of course, it's also traded on centralized exchanges, particularly Gate.io. I think it's a bit true. I think it's the other more decent volume. So it is trading there. But man, once the tier 1 start launching, it's going to be insane in the membrane for Dog Go to the Moon. And the narrative is to have the most valuable meme coin on the most valuable chain. And of course, it's led by a huge developer and influencer that is Leonidas. And so, it's looking good there at the moment. And it's been trending on X many times. So it's garnering more attention. There are a lot of big influencers like Wendy O covering it as well. So a bullish future for good old Dog. So that's ticking away there at the moment. Now, other runes are also doing pretty well. As you know, Runes Protocol is built on top of Bitcoin. And of course, it's actually adding a lot of the traffic on Bitcoin is from the Runes Protocol, where people are minting new coins, and it has really been bustling there. We got Ryzex up 10% at the moment, number 4. Pups World Peace is up 13% at the moment. We've got a couple of new ones in the house, of course. These three here kind of relatively new. They're kind of flat today. Lobo the Wolf Pup is another one that we're backing for the win. That's up 3.5% at the moment. 1.5 sats, a really good entry at $19 million on Lobo, sitting at number 10 there. So it's going to be fun to see that play out. We've actually got Trump down here. We've got BTC Trump runes, so it's taken over. So BTC Trump runes is actually taken over from Donald Trump, which was the number one Trump token launched on runes, down 17.5% at the moment. Watch out for that when we get close to the election. There's probably one there for speculation. Now, obviously, NFTs or ordinal collections have been doing very well as well. You can see it's flourishing over here, down a bit at the moment on some of these, but it is flourishing over here as well on the ordinals there. But let's see where that goes with the bull market coming up there. So that's it on Magic Eden, number one DEX for BRC20s, ORC20s, ordinals, and of course runes. So it's kind of cool. That leads us into overall. Now, obviously, Dog there is doing pretty well, and we can see that the meme coin category on a coin market cap is still down on the week, but up strongly on the 24 hours. So you can see we're all down red on the weekly there. You can see that, but look who's there. Sitting at number 12 is Dog, and number 12, we just looked at that on the DEX, of course. It's up 5.2% for the week. Woohoo! So out of all the leading meme coins in the world, it is actually up green, the only one up green out of those top 12. And of course, it's up 23% for the last 24 hours there compared to some others. So kind of cool. Now, we have seen some good, strong moves in Mogcoin up 32%, Popcat on Solana up 25% there, Brett on Basechain up 26%. So there has been some good 24-hour moves there. But that is, look where Dog is positioned. So you guys can see the market cap is 331 million. And of course, it's targeting Dogecoin, which is back up at 15.6 million. So watch this bull market. Things, meme coins can move positions, and the upside for Dog is enormous, as you can see. So pretty exciting where that's going to go as we're early days here. And when you got days where Bitcoin's going up double digits, man, oh man, watch the Dog, woof, off to the moon. And I believe it's actually going on a SpaceX ship onto the moon. So I'm not sure whether it's some sort of little memory chip or whatever, but it's Dog is apparently going to the moon literally, as well as hopefully in crypto digital land. Now, the total market cap at the moment is at 2.17 trillion for crypto, up 11.33%. So a nice rebound today. Very exciting to see that. Now, just jumping to AI coins category, we can see that's still pretty negative for the week candles, apart from Tau here, but a pretty good, strong rebound day for AI coins as well. Near Protocol back up at 17% to 4.5 billion, and so on. We got BitTensor there up 24%, Render up 18%, Injective there up 24%. So there's a bit of few movements in some of those leaders there in the top AI coins here on CoinGecko. So that's pretty much it. Which leads us into, you guys know it, leads us into Pulsechain, day 455. Before we get into that, though, let's see who else has jumped in here. Wookie says, Wookie's dog has run away. Your dog is running from you. That's for sure. Dog go to the moon. You're never going to catch the dog in the moon, there, Wookie. That's just not going to happen. Big strong arms there from UFO and Brennan. What's that? Brennan's that little dog. Brennan loves his dog too. Nice one there. Dog go to the moon is looking pretty badass. All right, let's jump over to the. No, not that screen. Let's go. No, not that screen. Where are we going here? That screen there. Man, oh man, this studio is crazy. All right, so we got Pulse day 455. Well, Pulse is also pumping. We got quadruple 0379 on Pulsechain, up 7.6%, 38% of the main sacrifice price. So it's really nice little move today. Of course, early days still for Pulse. We got Pulse X at the moment, quadruple 2200. That's up 11%. It's 22% of the main sacrifice price. There's still a lot of way to go for Pulse X. The buy and burn at the moment, 945.76 billion. 945 so basically 946 billion. It is currently at 4.68% of the public supply has been bought up and burned. And remember, this is part of the superior tokenomics of the Pulse X Pulsechain setup here. We got incentive token at the moment up 9.8%. So 5.6% of that is the Pulse price. So the ratio has gone up a little bit more there, up to 55,932 Pulse per one incentive token. We have currently got 38,856,000 incentive tokens. And as you guys know, that is from the Pulse X V1 farms. which are ticking away, and people have been earning a really good income on there. It's been so stable, relatively speaking, over there. Now, obviously, as Pulse starts rallying, if you're in stablecoin pools, you will face a permanent loss. In other words, you will end up with more stable coins. You'll earn a very nice yield, of course, but you'll miss out on quite a bit of the capital gain from the Pulse price going up. Just remember that when we come off the bottom of that move, we get in a big uptrend. That's going to amplify big time. Just remember that. Often people exit when it gets down where they think the market's at the bottom, they exit the pools and hold all their Pulse, right, for the ride up. Once again, you got to get that timing right, but that's kind of the idea. Hex at the moment is up almost 10%, 9.85% at 48 hundredths of a penny. EHEX is at the moment up slightly to 11 hundredths of a penny from 10 hundredths of a penny, and or 1/10 of a penny. And the combined price EHEX and PHEX is at just under 6/10 of a penny at the moment. So there we go. That is where that is at the moment. That's day 455. Let's look at the charts quickly. We're not going to go too much through this. How we're doing for time? 40 minutes in the live stream. But yeah, nice little punt. We had that big rally, got wiped out. I did see some people on X saying Richard Hart's doing this, right? Richard Hart's pumping it and then selling into it. So people got their different opinions. But there we are. We got a little bounce back, 3,500. And we've bounced back up to 3,800 there on the old Pulse. RSI was oversold, and we've managed to lift up there the 36. So it's kind of cool. At the moment, once again, we do have specific news for Pulsechain that's going to potentially influence the chart. I think that bullishness is going to be the Richard Hart's Dream Team lawyers responding to the SEC regarding the motion to dismiss. That's coming up on the 22nd of this month. So that's a big, big news ahead of us. It's going to be interesting to see whether the market can rally into that or not. It's 13 days or 12 days away, depending on time frame, probably close to 13. And then we have the oral arguments with the SEC on the 22nd of October, and that's a question mark. Who knows what's going to happen there? We could rally into it, especially if the market is rallying. We may very well rally into that. And depending on what the results are, obviously this is huge for Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex, as well as Richard Hart. And of course, we could have a rally out of that or sell off after that. So we'll see. Despite what's happening in the market, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens there. And then, of course, it should also, will benefit from the macro picture and so forth. Now, all of these market forecasts are looking pretty good. The only thing we've got to worry about is geopolitical risk. We know that there's the Iran war. We know that the Axis alliances there, China, Russia, if they all decide to attack all their targets at once, that would cause, World War III calamity. And sometimes they may very well do if they think the opportunity's there. And it's worth taking the risk. And of course, they coordinate, arms and supplies and things like that. That's how it all plays out. Obviously, none of us want that for many, many reasons, obviously, for humanity overall, but also for crypto. But that's the wild card out there, right? That's the wild card at the moment. All right, so that's kind of where we are at this stage. Now, if the case does fail and it proceeds further, we know that we're going to go on to information discovery into March to June next year. So the drags on into next year. And of course, we've also, obviously, if the US election wins, then and Trump wins, we get an insurance policy potentially with a firing of Gary Gensler and a change of the guard. And of course, a move away from lawfare against crypto and to more clear, simple regulations, probably where we head to there. That's kind of insurance. And maybe many of the cases get dropped on the SEC books, and maybe one of those is Richard Hart and, of course, Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex. So that's kind of potentially an insurance policy there. So we've got kind of 3 stages to walk through that may or may not run into 2025. We shall see. Hopefully it gets resolved in October and the cases get dismissed. So fingers crossed. Richard has got the dream team of lawyers, and we will find out not too far away. I mean, it's not far away, is it? Ultimately. Now, I'm not sure when the actual results of the court will play out, but we know we're going to have a lot of Pulsechins and Hexkins at the court there. I think it's in New York, and it's on the 22nd of October there. So we shall see how that goes. That's ticking away there. 74 days. Can you believe it? 74 days to go. All right, PulseX at the moment. This is on the daily as well. PulseX still looking pretty good. I mean, it didn't get oversold. It was 37, but it's popped up to 45 on the RSI. And look at that, holding up very nicely with this long-term support. They're doing very well on this as well. And we do have higher lows still. We've still got higher lows. So PulseX is not all that bad. I know we got wiped out in that on Pulsechain, but PulseX has managed to hold up a slightly higher low after that rally that we had. So it didn't fully oversold, unlike Pulsechain, which got well oversold. And here we are on Pulsex looking relatively good. So Pulsex performing pretty well, that buy and burn ticking away. And a lot of participation there in Pulsex. So when this thing goes on Pulsex, I'm sure it's going to go. Let's see how we get on there. Maybe we'll get a rally before into that Richard Hart reply and dismissal on later this month. So let's see. 13 days away. Incentive token at the moment. Obviously, the ratio is rallied pretty strong, and we're sitting here at 56,000. Still very nicely in this channel. Look at that channel. Do you like that? That's looking pretty good. So let's see where we go with that. All I can say is performing well. And if you're in the Pulsex farms, you're earning a pretty good damn yield, right? In fact, let's pull up the Pulsex farms and just have a quick look at the yields at the moment while we're here. All right, let's go. And let's have a look at the yields at the moment. I know there's quite a few people farming on Pulsex, so earning nice good income there. And man, it's been spectacular, really. So you can't complain about the yields on Pulsex. Maybe I'll complain about the price of Pulse and Pulsex, but the yields have been pretty terrific. We've got 13% on Pulsex Pulse at the moment. We've got Hex Pulse is at 25%, Incentive Pulse is at 35%, and Incentive Pulsex is at 27%. The stable coins at the moment, so if you bridged in DAI, USDC, or USD Tether, they have been matched up with Pulsecoin, and of course they're 67% with DAI, 69% almost with USDC, and 66% with USD Tether there. And finally, if you bridged in wrapped ETH from Ethereum and matched it with Pulse, it's almost 40%. 39.5% there on the APR. So really stunning results, and they've been very consistent. People have been earning very good money out of that, and the INC is holding up like a boss. So very cool. And all the prices all the way down here, so it's kind of crazy. Now, obviously, as prices go up, there will be whales that have been mining incentive that will dump the price at some different stages. To take that into account when we get that big rally. Just remember that, keep that in the back of your head, back of your mind there. So not back of your head, but back of your mind. Just to take note that they're out there, right? All right, so that's kind of it. Let's jump into the Hex. Hex is going to be the poorer cousin, but a nice little bounce back. We were down at 42/100th of a penny yesterday. Pretty crazy stuff here. We're almost completely oversold, just above that line, and we're now back up at 40 from about 31. And of course, we had a nice little bounce back in that chart that just closed. Kind of cool there. What else are we going to say about that? 13-day, 40-day. We haven't got a book. We've got a bearish cross, but that might get wiped out. Might be very short-lived. We might go back to a bullish cross in a day or two if we can keep another green candle or two. But at the moment, we're currently at 48, almost 49/100th of a penny, almost back at half a cent. So that's really positive. If we can get back over half a cent, it'd be very cool to see that and rally back up. So kind of cool. EHEX as well was pretty sad on EHEX. Look at how low we got on EHEX. I mean, it's pretty sad. Got down, this is like 5 days ago, got down to 8,600 with 3 zeros. It was pretty damn low. And now we're back at 11/100th of a penny. So nice little comeback there as well. So there we go. We bounced on from oversold 29 back up to 42 on the RSI. There we go on that one. So that's kind of it. Let's jump over to all the derivatives at the moment. Nice to see some green candles again on the derivatives. Hedron and Lucky and Dicky. Icosa all up 4 to 7%. So nice on that. Doing pretty well. So pretty much everything's up all across the board on the Hex derivatives. So nice. Let's see what else there. Stablecoins. LUSD up at 19%. So big move there from LUSD. PDI up 13%. USDC up 11%. And USD Tether up 10%. Now, these are all the speculative stable coins, right? So they're not at a peak, but people that hold them, hopefully they'll get to something, maybe even 10% of the peak at $1. That would be pretty exciting. But LUSD has the big burn in it, right? So it's ticking away there and up nicely today, almost 90%. So not too bad on that one. Like I say, if you bought like $150 of these, you might end up making a lot of money. You just know, just with that little speculative risk on PDI as well. Currently just under 900th of a penny. The stable coins, Coast is at 98 cents, so just under peg. USDL and Hex DC is slightly under peg, just below that, like 99.5 cents. And of course, the PXDC there is at $1.01, so it's not just above peg at the moment. That's kind of the marks there. Moving to influencer coins on Pulsechain, the number one performer there happens to be Paul Pleb. aka Hexy Bastard. No, he's the one that support that. And we got more token there from Trayvon, up 12%. Solid X, the big whale. Now you guys know that Dragon X team is building a big game on Solid X. They think it's going to be the #1 GameFi on Pulsechain. Obviously, Mafia has got that spot at the moment. But Solid X there up at $14.35, up 7%. So keep a lookout for that. That's going to be launching. It's certainly going to help big time with Solid X 2 is probably. So that could be a big rally coming up there. Access Alive is up 6.5% to $7,860 kind of there. And we'll probably finish off with Note Token from Randy. That's up 6%. And they just had a new token launch, right, the other day. So if you saw that, just trying to remember the name of that. But that launched the other day. We might see that on the overall markets. So that's kind of the play there. Let's jump over to the Pulsechain and have a look at the overall results for Pulsechain. Let's get in. We've got 13.3 million volume. So still relatively low for the weekday, but at least we've got green candles. I think people can be happy with that. And we've got 153,000 transactions. Looking at the leaders here on the trending, we've got some new token here called OneSwap. That's up 435%, very low liquidity. But we've got Pika, which has been around for a while. That's up 23%. We've got LUSD we just talked about. We've got Loan tokens. We've actually got a utility token leading the charge on Pulsechain at the moment. So good to see Loan, one of our biggest DeFi protocols in the lending space. That's up 15.7%. Cool news there. We've actually got Leonidas. As you guys know, Dog is led by Leonidas. This is a guy on Pulsechain that's running these tokens. That's up 13%. PDDC, the big DAO token there, up 12%. One of the better projects on Pulsechain for sure. Check out the tokenomics for that, of course. Pulsex leading the way as well. Nice to see Pulsex, of course, there. So got some good movements today. And, of course, Mafia, we're going to be talking about that in a minute. That's up 11% at, what's that, 0.12 of a penny at the moment on good old Mafia. We're going to talk about that shortly. So some good leaders there, over 10%. DWB over 10%, TDB over 10%, and INC, the incentive token for Pulsex. Obviously, we just talked about that. That's up over 10% too. So some nice moves, as well as Hex rounding it off. There, number Hex. But I'm going to give an honorable mention to PDRIP, our protocol. That's up 10% as well, $1.27. So that's kind of the markets at the moment. Let's jump into the rest of stuff before we wrap up the day results for day 455. Gwei at the moment, or Beats, is at 170,000, super low, at 0.2 of a penny for a Pulsex swap, 100th of a penny for a Pulsecoin transfer, 400th of a penny for a PRC transfer. Now we've got Gwei on Ethereum at the moment at 3 Gwei, for pretty low, but we're 1,250 times cheaper than Ethereum, so doing pretty good. In fact, we're 2,800 times cheaper than Bitcoin too, while we add it. Now moving to validators, let's jump to that mark. We've got 48,375 validators, and 1.55 trillion is a stake with validators. Like I say, I'd say it again, if you want to pick up a validator at the moment, Pulsechain's still relatively cheap, and you can get passive income there, wait for the price to pump, and that's through validatorstore.com if you want to get one of those validators preloaded, I believe, with software and stuff like that. Now, moving to the heartbeat of Pulsechain. Yay! We're up about $4 million. Thank goodness for that. We were about 88.4 million yesterday, if I remember rightly. We're at 92.25 million now on the bridge. So that's kind of cool to see a 4 million pump in the old heartbeat of Pulsechain. We want to get back over 100 million, of course, and up and away beyond that. Looks like we got PDI pretty similar to yesterday from my memory. 27,347,000, pretty similar numbers. Ether is obviously up at 24 million on the price pump. Bitcoin obviously is up as well. That's just under $2 million there. Coast is just sitting just below peg as we saw. So that's a 4.5 million, 4.5 million. Now the big news around Coast is they have a new partner and a banking partner, and that now offers over all the countries, all the states in the US. And they are very in line with the principles of Pulsechain, DeFi and all that, freedom and all that sort of stuff. Now, if you want to use Brian's link, his link's in the video description. If you want to directly onboard to Coast onto Pulsechain, that is the place to go. They've relaunched their new banking partner, and it looks very, very strong now. So fingers crossed that ticks away there and brings lots of new capital to Pulsechain. And of course, if you want to use a direct on-ramp, Coast is the way to go, and Brian's link's in the video description. You also get 5,000 weight tokens as well as a bit of a joining bonus if you're new. EHEX course is up slightly, 1,100 pennies, so that's up 7 million. And yeah, I'm not sure what's been moving around with the USDT, USDC, or USD Tether, but that's where they're at the moment, $92.25 million. So that's good news. Obviously, we're starting day 456. That's going to be ticking away. So there we go. Now we're going to get into Mafia, of course. Before we do that, though, let's check up on the chat and see who else has jumped in here. I'm going to get into Mafia in a minute. Let's see here. Let's jump away. Who else has been in the comment section? Brennan says, don't worry about humanity. Pump my bags, says Brennan. Yeah, I like that. Don't worry about my bags. Pump humanity, says Hexhog. That's very nice from Hexhog. Brennan says, toxic, you're not human, bro. Yeah, that's true. I am AI. Yeah, that's probably the truth. Brennan says, I'm in a simulation. Yeah. That's what they say about black holes, right? Black holes, even though they suck things into the black hole for the singularity, but on the edge of the black hole, this information gets captured and doesn't something like that. I think that's the argument, and therefore some people try to use that as a argument for simulation. Now, what is simulation? What's a simulation? I mean, that's another question for you, right? I mean, that's getting right there. You can say anything's a simulation almost, can't you? What else there? Yeah, that's the name I gave my cage. The simulation, says Hexhog. All right, thanks, boss, says Brian. Hey, Brian, thanks so much. Enjoy your day if you're bowing out for the moment in the good old US of A. He's probably going to the gun range to have a few shots. Hey, let's end the poll at the moment. We've got 21 votes. It's a good time to finish that. I've got here, did you buy the dip in crypto? 52% said yes, 47% no. That's probably pretty reasonable. That's probably what I might have expected. Pretty cool. So congratulations for filling in that poll. We appreciate that. All right, let's get into Mafia. Man, breaking some milestones is the old Mafia. Let's have a look. This list here is all of Jacob projects, and we're looking forward to that. In fact, we've probably got Pulse Predict must be coming up. It was delayed 60 days. Let's see if hopefully it doesn't get delayed again. It's not cool to keep doing delays. Becomes part of your branding when you have too many delays on projects. Even if you're the number one GameFi DeFi dev and development team, we do like to get things getting closer to on time. Anyway, we've got some prices here. Let's go to Mafia on Pulsechain. This is the one we want to talk about at the moment. So that is the chart on Pulsechain at the moment. So you can see that all the way back on the 26th of June, the NFT marketplace phase 5 was launched for Pulse Mafia. So it's been a long time since then. And of course, we've had keys launched. We've had Player and Family Plus launched on the 3rd of July. We had Hidden Inventory launched on the 10th of July. And then we had another big update, 18th of July, Allegiances. But this is all in phase 5. And since that time, we had a double top. We peaked out at 2400th of a penny. We've kind of been there before. And then we've had a bit of a sell-off in there, just while we've had delays and stuff like that. A bit of a quiet up there. And we got an update, a couple of days ago, wasn't it, that Jacob had COVID, so he was off for a couple of weeks quite badly, and his team was also on holiday during that time. And so they're back on deck now, of course, but that means that the phase 6 launch of the world map, which is the big update we're waiting for, is going to be delayed somewhat. So we'll find out when that does come to market. So we're just waiting patiently for that. In the meantime, we did have a nice pump today. And so it looks like we stopped bleeding out at 1/10 of a penny, and we're almost up at 1200th of a penny here today. So good news there, up almost 11%. Market cap still at 1.1 million, liquidity at 120,000. We had 25 makers in the market today, so there's people that bought or sold. So that's ticking away. Now, that's great to see the chart. So really good entry price for people to get in. But let's have a look at the actual results of the families, and we can see that the syndicate is in number 1 spot. Now, the gearheads had temporarily for a day or two taken number 2 spot. They are buying up a lot of things in the marketplace. If you're wondering why they've been moving up, they've been intentionally buying a lot of things off the market. They've helped lift the market price in the market, but they're certainly trying to soak up a lot of assets. And of course, we're keep an eye on all that stuff. But there we go. We got number 1 is the syndicate is back in number 1 spot, and of course by good country marketing there, about 10 to 11,000 on the worth. The big news, of course, is the syndicate is the first family to go over 500,000 in family worth. So congratulations to Capone, the Don, aka Archie, doing an incredible job. The syndicate, of course, is the most feared family on the Mafia game. It leads the directorate, of course, and the directorate has a number of allegiances. Has the Yakuza, which is down at number 4 spot here, and the Hustlers are down at number 5 spot, are all part of the directorate. big shout out there to My Life is Awesome, Lick Gaines, who set up the Hustlers there. So that's kind of cool and doing very well. So those are kind of the leaderboard at the moment. The other big news, of course, besides the Syndicate doing extremely well, and is the Vault. The Vault has actually hit a 5 billion pulse. Look at that. Woohoo! Hot dog at a dog. Now, as you guys know, this has been the target all along. And, of course, it has now moved up. As pulse price moves up, the US dollar value is going to move up dramatically. And just yesterday, we were sitting at 180,000. We're now at 191.5 thousand. So, yeah, bring it on. That is fantastic. And I think we're going to get to 200,000 very soon. We had a bit more pump in the pulse price, and we are there. So that's going to be the first time we have reached 200,000 in pulse in the vault. Now, this is pretty much on track. I think the Mafia is pretty on track for being the #1 reflection ecosystem token out there. I think we've got to get to like 6 or 7 billion for that to sort of transition to the leader there, if I remember rightly. So that's kind of the play. What else are we going to say about that? Yeah, let's go to the game wiki. Everything is just ticking around now. Even though the game hasn't started, the dons of the family, the players in the family, everybody is still playing. You're still playing. So if you're buying assets, you're still playing the game, even though the game hasn't started, because you're getting yourself strong, right? And you have to train. If you're going to be going to a fight, you have to train and get strong. So it's really like people are in the training gym right now, getting ready for the game to go live. Now, it's still going to be a little while later, but we're going to give updates. The next thing we're expecting is phase 6, which is the Mafia map. Then trade ups is phase 7. 8 is pre-ranking. Hopefully those 2 stages, they're important stages. Hopefully they are relatively short in nature. Then we've got communication. I'm hoping that that's going to be quite a decent stage. And then we've got kill simulator. That should be relatively short as well, in my view. And of course, vault requirements, phase 11. Now we've obviously just hit the Pulsechain one, and you can see the tick here. It's got a tick now. How about that? It's even got ticks in here. The vault requires 5 billion pulse before the stage can be complete. And as you guys know, we've hit the 5 billion. So that has actually been achieved. But it's been achieved well before phase 6. So the world map, we're waiting for that Mafia map. It's a big, big stage. And it's going to be a huge strategic stage for the leaders of the family and things like that. So it's going to be pretty important there. And for players as well. And then, of course, phase 12. So you can see the green tick there. I like that. Now, obviously, the Mafia on BNB has not been hit. That's 500 BNB. We're going to have a quick look at that and see where that's at. And then, of course, we got the official launch. So there we go, folks. That is the play. So we're going to obviously wait a bit longer. I'm hoping that we get the game launched by October. That's when I really like to launch, because that's when the bull market I'm expecting to really take off. Now, obviously, we understand that there's development time. But, hey, look, it's better to get out a minimum viable product. Obviously, the map, the Mafia map is very important, and you want the code to be robust. So we want all that. So we're just hoping really that we get out by October. So we, minimize game, waiting gamer fatigue. That's kind of where we feel at the moment. But nevertheless, this is looking exciting, and we can't wait, right? There's lots of cool things besides the world map coming up. The trade ups, the pre-ranking, the communications, the marketing, of course, from the team, the kill simulator, these are all huge. And of course, the other things that are going to come up when the game launches is the new markets on the market. We're going to have bullets and alt trading, not just Mafia token. That's going to be huge as well. And then we're also going to have the marketplace, ticking away there. We're going to have businesses, of course, all the businesses that will be operating. So it's going to be pretty cool. So there's lots of ways to earn money in this game that haven't even started. So we're so excited about that. This is the #1 GameFi on Pulsechain at the moment. So looking forward to it. The other thing, of course, is it's got all these businesses will be able to earn some sort of different type of money, bullets or in-game cash. And I like this stuff here. We're going to have the game economy. This is going to be huge too. We're going to have different ratios within game and outside of the game on deck screening, for example. And, of course, the central bank regulating money supply. So lots of cool stuff coming. Lots of opportunities for people to earn money, which is pretty cool. And obviously, the best way to earn money is getting in a family. So if you want to join the syndicate, or any of these related families in the directorate, it's well worth joining up with us at the moment. I just realized I didn't even share my screen here. So there we go. Let me just go back here. I didn't realize I was not sharing my screen. What else there? We got Brian says, thanks, boss. Get your free weight tokens here. Yeah, join up using Brian's link there. Kind of cool. Visualize like a simulation, says Brennan. Yeah. I just realized the whole time I wasn't actually sharing my Mafia screen, so I apologize about that. But here is the leaderboard here. Like I say, the syndicate is at #1 spot there. Up first family to get over 500,000 and about 10,000, 11,000 clear of the gearheads at the moment. Gearheads have been buying a lot on market in terms of the market stuff, so that's been going on. And of course, the vault, as I was just talking about there, hit 5 billion. Can you believe it? 5 billion at the moment, 191,000. That's going to go up and away. Sure, we're not too far away of getting 200,000 once Pulse goes up a little bit, and of course the vault continues to fill up. And of course, the other thing was that I was talking about was the Wikipedia there. The Mafia map is the big next stage we're expecting. The world map is going to be huge. Apparently, it's supposed to be very good. Jacob's talked about it a lot. Then we're going to get trade ups. We're going to get pre-ranking. Going to get communication. Kill some of that. But of course, the big news as well. We hit that 5 billion on the vault requirement. So that has got a green tick to it now, which is excellent. And then, of course, the official launch. So that's kind of a summary of what I was showing when you guys couldn't share the screen. The other thing, of course, we're going to have new tradable tokens on Deck Screener. We're going to have bullets and health. They're going to be very, very cool to see. At the moment, of course, we've got Mafia. There's only 1 billion Mafia in the market, of course, with the buy and sell takes. So it's going to be interesting to see what taxes are on health and bullets. Probably going to be smaller than this, in my view. So that's going to be kind of cool. And then, of course, we're going to have a lot of in-game assets earning money. So if you've got a business and things like that, they'll be earning money. And, of course, banks earning interest and all sorts of stuff. And then, of course, the game economy is going to come up too, with the central bank as well regulating the total supply. It's going to be fun to see this economics, multiple ways of earning money now and multiple ways of earning money in the future. It's going to be pretty fun. Now, obviously, you can still buy crates and still have a chance to still buy keys, I should say, and still have a chance of winning Mafia, winning OG NFTs, winning keys. There's sort of the big jackpot ones. And, of course, you can also win big in-game assets from bullets and cash, health, in-game weapons and things like that. So there's still lots in store, bodyguards, helper credits, cars, and things like that in play. So kind of neat. And the other thing, of course, the market's ticking away. And we see that, the gearhead's definitely been buying up a lot lately, but it helps helps feed the vault, helps, lift the prices in the market. So it's kind of a win-win across the board there, and keeps the game competitive. So that's kind of neat. And of course, people buying and selling the Mafia token also feeds the vault, right? So lots of ways to go there, and I'm expecting more things to come from that in the future. That is where we are on Pulse Mafia. Let's go to BNB, have a quick look at that just while we're here to see where the family rankings are. So we've got family rankings at the moment. The OG Gangsters, 141, almost 142,000 on the wealth. The Syndicate sitting there at #2 at 122,800. And then, of course, we've got the Mugnows at #3, the Akusa and Illuminati, all part of the Directorate. Directorate is led by the Syndicate, sitting at #4 and 5. They're the best paid spots. And we've got the OGs sitting there at #1. And, of course, there are two side families here in New Jersey, Medellin, sitting at #8 and 9. And only #8 is in the conditional payout zone. That's kind of where we are there at the moment. And, of course, the crates there, they have all the same things, except they still have a lot of businesses left. There are 37 businesses left in the BNB side. So, they're worth a lot of money on the Pulsechain side and worth a lot of money over here on BNB. No one has yet won any of the Mafia on BNB. Still 15 million Mafia. There's 38.2 million over on Pulsechain. And, of course, the game keys as well. Those are the top ones there people after taken away. Now, the vaults, of course, is sitting at 126 BNB. Now, they've got a target of 500. I don't think that they're going to keep that target. I think that this is going to be, I think when Pulsechain starts, this is my view, of course, I think they're going to start BNB game as well. This makes sense. I don't think they're going to get 500 BNB at this stage unless they get some ginormous number of influences. I really just don't think that's going to hit at this stage. So that's kind of the play there. The market, of course, is ticking over a little bit. Not as much activity, of course, compared to Pulsechain. Only 6,900 in total volume there, 110 items sold. But that market is still operating, and it's got different prices. You can go see whether you can get a bargain in there. That is kind of the play. Let's jump over back into it. So that is pretty much it around Mafia. Let's have a look at the BNB Mafia prices while we're at it. We can see at the moment that the price has also bounced there off this mark. Let's go into it. That is the chart from BNB. Very different looking chart. We've got 000 1500 was the bottom of the price. Currently just at 1900ths of a penny there. That's kind of where we are. 900, yeah. 90 thousandths of a penny, something like that. 1/10 of a penny, 1900. Yeah, so 19 thousandths of a penny. I think that's where kind of where we are at the moment. So lots of potential upside for the old BNB. 42k liquidity, 186,000 market cap, and only 4 makers over there. So you can sort of see the activity is a lot lower, but maybe the opportunity is much bigger. That's kind of the play, if you're willing to wait. Now, we've obviously got a bit of delay in the game, so maybe you got a bit of time on your side to make some more mad gains somewhere else, and then bring it into Mafia a bit later, or at least a little bit into Mafia a bit later. That's kind of the play there. What else is looking good? Kind of neat. Now, Pulsepot's sitting at 76 cents at the moment. Honorable mention. That's kind of it there at the moment. All right, let's jump away. That is pretty much it. Let's see what Hex is like. What do we got? Day 1711. Is that the last day? Yeah, this. So that would be day 455. We got the 8th of August. The price is up by 9.9%. We'll take that. Now, the main point here is the payout, 7.159 hex per T-share. That is the main number we're looking for there. And the T-shares at the moment on Pulsechain are up 8.1 million. We're sitting at 500. No, it's not right. Where the T-shares gone? So we're up 1,400 T-shares to 9,190,000. That's the ownership pool, right? That's the ownership pool. And they get the rewards. Now, with the rewards, well, we've had pretty modest penalties, 761,000 penalties. Total rewards in the reward pool, 65.8 million hex per in the reward. So that goes to those owners of the tier shares. And, of course, liquid holders up 38. It's a nice little bounce up there. Miners down 12. And we're sitting 123,209 miners on Hex on Pulsechain. We don't have Ethereum data, so that's why we're not covering that at the moment. And, yeah, this website's only still got Pulsechain stuff coming through at the moment. But we appreciate the service there. And that is pretty much it. All right. So, yeah, some big news coming up. Yeah, keep an eye out for Eric and Donald Trump Jr. because they have some big Trump project and crypto coming up. They love crypto. And so the sons of Donald Trump are going to be launching something. So that's a little tidbit of the day. That's kind of the tip of the day to follow that. And if you get in early, you've got to get in early, then you could make some great gains here. There is no project launch yet, so watch out for scammers. You do need to follow the actual real links of those two Trump sons there. What else? Yes, looking good. We've covered everything. Everything's looking great. So I hope you guys enjoyed out there. Probably early days, man. We could, you guys are still here early, so it's early days and lots of opportunities galore around. So to really hunt down the winners. Now, if you want help hunting down the winners, we do have. If you want help, we do have. What I was going to say, we do have the strategy club, and we're looking at multi-chain opportunities. We're trying to pick off the real high probable moves there, like dog on Bitcoin. So really, really cool for that. And you can join up today. It's $35 a month in there, and it's multi-chain. It's a special secret group inside the Discord. Discord is $5 a month. The strategy club's $35, includes the Discord, of course. So get in there on that. Links in the video description as well. All right, and Brian's got his link there. Discord is way better than Wookie's link. Just saying. Nice one there. Appreciate that. And there is Wookie's strategy club link there as well. I think they're both the same, aren't they? Aren't they both the same? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's see what else there. Let me jump through some of those. Yeah, and if you want to get onto Coast and directly on board to Pulsechain directly, that use Brian's link there, Coast, and you get 5,000 free weight tokens as well. Brennan says $150 million got rugged on Solana with the new Trump coin. Yeah, you got to be careful. Follow the real McCoys on that one, and don't fall for scams. Yeah, definitely don't fall for scams, folks. There's too many good opportunities out there that you don't need to do that. So kind of cool. Brennan says 5 billion is very nice on Pulse Mafia. Absolutely doing well. It's hit its target. It's pretty awesome. So well done to Jacob and the team. They have created a project that has hit that target on there. We just look forward to all the pre-phases and hopefully October. That's my hope, is October there as well. Is a good time to launch that game. So fingers crossed we can get there on that. All right. I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now in 30 minutes, almost a full live stream. Mine normally is 115 minutes is the max. We're up to 113, almost 114. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's coverage. Green, bullish markets. Enjoy yourself in crypto. Pick off the real winners. Take care out there as well. Don't fall for scams. And, of course, jump into Discord. We have a great place in Discord. Very safe place where people support each other. And we've got all the information as well. Well worth jumping in there as well. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell for future videos. You guys know here virtually every single day. Tomorrow is going to be a big show. We've got 2 shows tomorrow. I'm going to be doing the Syndicate on Mafia with the Don Capone. So if you want to meet the greatest Don in the Mafia game, he is a super genius, and you can catch him on tomorrow's show. It's going to be earlier than today, so it's going to be about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and a quarter earlier than I normally do. And then this show is going to be probably half an hour later than normal, just to give a bit of a break between those two shows. So look forward to that tomorrow. That's on the thing. So if you go to the live category here on the channel, you'll be able to get notified about that, the Syndicate and the Mafia. We're going to have Don Capone on the live stream. It's going to be awesome. All right. Take care all, says Lies Beneath. Absolutely. Good show, boss, says Brian. Thank you so much. Peace out, says Brennan. Absolutely. And see you folks, says Brian as well. Nice one. All right. Let's play out cool video on the way out, shall we? Let's do it. Let's do Magic Cup Ride. Let's do it. We're going to do it. Magic Cup Ride. We're going to do it. All right. Take care. Bye for now. Peace out.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.